Zaffa Books presents The Forget-Me-Not Girl, written by Sheila Newbury and read by Jessica Ball. This audiobook is brought to you by Memory Lane, a special community for the very best saga writing from authors you know and love, and new ones we can't wait for you to meet. Join us today at memorylane.club. Prologue. Boxing Day, 1936. "Shall I brush your hair for you, Grandma Emma?" the small girl asked. She sat beside the bed where the old lady lay, propped up by plump pillows with her eyes closed. At times like this, Emma felt her husband's presence, which comforted her. Her bed had been moved downstairs to the sitting room and placed so that she could see out of the big window. The Christmas decorations were still up, and a Yule log was blazing in the fireplace. For this was the wedding day of her youngest granddaughter, Myrtle. Emma was now very frail and unable to walk from the old Swan Inn, where she lived with her son Ernest and his wife Belle, to the church opposite, as she had a year ago, when Myrtle's sister, Nell, was married. Later, the room would be full of happy chatter when the wedding party and guests returned after the service. Emma would be at the centre of this, as always. Emma's eyes opened. She couldn't see very well, but she wouldn't admit it. She gazed at the little girl thoughtfully. Shummy, as the family called her, was awaiting the arrival of her fellow bridesmaids. Emma had chosen their outfits. She herself had worn a ruby-red velvet gown when she married her beloved T.F. on the 26th of January, 1863, in St. Stephen's Church in London. And her great-granddaughter, 4 years old, was dressed in red velvet today. She had a little silver Dutch bonnet, and she clutched a beautiful white muff. Emma had borrowed a muff like that on her wedding day, she recalled. It had been snowing that day, and seemed likely to do so today. "You may brush my hair, but very gently, dear." She indicated the brush on her bedside table and closed her eyes, as Shummy knelt beside her to brush the long silver locks, which still had a curl at the ends. "Did you have black hair once, Grandma?" Shummy asked. "I did," Emma said. "Black as a raven's wing, my mother said. T.F., my dear husband, had very fair hair. Ernie was red-haired, like his Irish grandfather. I looked after his and Belle's children when they took on the Buck Inn at Uggashall. I used to brush the little girls' hair before they went to school. The boy, Headley, was at work, of course. Bella, your mother, was blonde like Myrtle and you. Nell had red hair like her father and little Ernie." Emma paused, then added, "That's enough brushing, dear. Thank you." Shummy put the brush down. "Grandma, where is little Ernie?" "He's with the angels. He was 7 years old when they laid him to rest." "Mummy said when Nana and Grandad went out on Christmas morning, they were going to Uggashall Church to visit little Ernie." They'd carried a wreath, which Shummy had watched Nana make. Belle put her head round the door and said, "Shummy, the bridesmaids are here. Come and join them in the kitchen. I must help Myrtle with her flowers. Mother, I took a sprig from the myrtle bush you planted long ago in the Buck garden, as you suggested." She noticed the empty cup and saucer on the bedside table and picked it up. "Oh, your forget-me-not cup. Best not leave it here in case it gets broken. I know how you love your mother's old cup." Then she bustled away, followed by Shummy. The bone china cup had been hand-painted with the delicate little flowers, which had faded over many years. It was the only thing belonging to her mother that Emma had been given. Emma's eyes closed again. She wasn't asleep, but remembering her dear mother who had been her inspiration and her wonderful husband, how happy she had been on her wedding day. Emma smiled to herself, recalling their first meeting. It was love.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?